live to the world. So, hello everybody. We've got 25 people coming in. Hello Natasha. Hello Simon. How are you? Hello Sylvie. Hello Michelle. Hello Connie. Thank you very much. Hello Anne. Very nice to have you coming in. Hello Janice. How are you? And Elena. How are you? Welcome to this update briefing on the EuRA Global Quality Seal Plus. This is the session that we do each year. Hi Christine. Hi Katrina. How are you doing? We do this every year. Just for those of you who may not know or may not know, we update the quality standard that underpins the EuRA Global Quality Seal every year at the final board meeting of the year. Based on extensive research that Martina does for us, which she's going to take you through during the session. Some years we have big changes. I remember, well, I think it was the year of GDPR. There was quite a lot that came in that year. Terrified everybody. This year is not nearly so many changes. So this webinar is to update you with the current quality standard, and Martina will take you through everything. But just if you are here and you haven't undertaken the quality seal, welcome. We're delighted to have you with us. Some of today's content, if you haven't done the seal, may be quite confusing. But for those of you who will be joining us at the conference in Zagreb, myself, Martina, Michelle Bramstoft, and also Lofgren, our two brilliant mentors, and Jochen Mascala, who is our lead auditor, will be running clinics all across the coffee breaks during the event. So come and find us in the cafe off the conference lobby. And anybody who's listening in on the call, I know I can see a lot of you here who have had the seal for many years. If you'd like to come in and just impart your wisdom to people who are looking to undertake the seal, that would be wonderful. We've just run some research on the people who we sent out a big survey and asked people what the biggest barriers were to undertaking the seal. And we also asked, are you intending to take the seal? And we had a very high number of people saying, yes, they were, but the barriers were resources internally, time, expertise. So we're going to do as much as we can over the next years, not just for people who haven't done the seal, but for you guys who already hold it, to support you as much as we possibly can. So if at any time when you're undergoing recertification or you're rebuilding your quality manual, you have a question, don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Martina, to our mentors, to Jochen. We will do as much as we possibly can to answer any queries you may have. In the meantime, we've got 85 people today. I can see we've got 45 people in on the call. If you have any questions or comments you would like to make, please use the chat box. It's a much better way for Zoom because we can record the chat. So if you put a note in the chat box, just remember to toggle down where it says to. The default in Zoom is always host and panelists. If you want it to be seen by everybody, so maybe, for example, you've got a question that other people might also have, just toggle that little blue thing down into everybody and change it from host and panelists to everyone. Rohit, brilliant first question. Thank you very much. Hello, Mariam. How are you? Nice to see you. Rohit, how successful has the remote audit process been so far? I will let Martina answer that question. Martina, lovely to have you with us.
Yes, hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to the EuRA Global Quality Seal Update Training 2025. Dom, thank you for the introduction, and yeah, let's get started. And I will be more than happy to answer all your questions afterwards. If something you really, pops up, raise your virtual hand. That is nice as well. So
I'm just going to interrupt you for a very quick second. Rohit just asked a very good question already, which is how successful has the remote audit process been thus far? I can answer that from the point of view of the team here at EuRA. Maria has done an excellent job at setting up that in-house process. Martina, how has it been from your perspective?
Yeah, from my perspective, it's much smoother, quicker, more reliable on it. And we come to that in a minute because I asked that in the last, send out a questionnaire to the EuRA certified companies. So, and the feedback was very good as well.
Excellent. I'm just going to make one very quick comment and then obviously I will shut up. I'll let you get on, Martin. To everybody who's listening, one of the goals of taking the process in-house was to smooth the operation of it, but also to reduce the costs. I have heard from a couple of people who in the past were being audited by SGS, whose audit costs in particular were determined by location. So for example, if you were having your audit undertaken by SGS in, let's say, Vietnam, it would be a great deal less expensive than it would be if you were having it done in Switzerland. If you are in a place where your quote from EuRA comes back as more expensive than it was under the previous system, you need to let us know. Send us the invoice from the previous audit, and we will do our very, very, very best to match that cost. Martina, I will stop talking. Over to you.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, that is really, really kind of EuRA. Okay, let's talk about some general information and the promised EuRA GQS holders feedback, because I think that is interesting for all of you as well. And then we will jump into the changes of the EGQS Plus standard and the changes from 2004 to 2005 version. And then some organizational changes as well. Okay, feedback from EuRA GQS holders. Actually, we have 67 companies, or in February, we had 67 companies who are actually certified based on the EuRA Global Quality Seal Plus standard, just for your information. And that is available on the website of EuRA. And if you're interested in who's certified, you can just go there and check. And as you can see, we are really a global it's really a global standard, and companies all over the world are certified based on this standard. We sent out the questionnaires, and we had then 3 certified and 13 recertified EuRA members. And still, because we on the transmission phase of doing the audits by DQS or Bureau Veritas or EuRA office. So we had 6 companies who have been still audited by the external certification bodies, and 10 companies who have been certified already based on the new EuRA auditing process. We had a feedback rate of 75%, which is great. Thank you again to everyone who answered the questionnaire. And here just some quick, just insights of the feedback. One question have been, is sustainability a valuable opportunity for your company to embrace today or in the near future? And here you can see now the development of the answers. So from 21, it was like 75% that yes, it is, and it's a peak at 2002, and now it's dropping again. And I think that is really interesting. Today, or for 2024, they answered just 2/3 of the company said, well, it is a valuable opportunity, and we have to take care about it. And that is interesting. Probably we are so used to it by now, but I think numbers sometimes are interesting. It's just for your information. And the focus, the motivation, why our companies are focusing on the topic of sustainability changed from year to year as well. And interesting is, for example, the employee requirements advocacy. That raised up dramatically from 2003 to 2005, as well as a topic for customer interest. So we have more, it's more intense by individuals, so by the customers and by the employees, and that is interesting. For clients, it's dropped from last year to this year. Why? I don't know. But now here we have the individuals who are really interested in this sustainability topic. A new one is we ask for diversity, equality, and inclusion. And if that is an important issue for the companies, and here 82% said yes. We have no comparable data because we asked this question the first time. So I'm really suspicious how the development will be in the near future. And here, the motivation to focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion. The topics are client interest, employees interest, customer interest, and then legal requirements and others are a little lower. So probably you find yourself here as well. And now the new EuRA audit process. So we ask if you have been certified by the EuRA auditors, what is your experience? And as you can see, we do not have any comparable data, but we will have in the near future. And the average is 4.8 out of 5. And I think, Dom, this is a fantastic result. Therefore, it's a brand new process. It was set up completely from the scratch, and 4.8, I think that is applause for Marie and the whole EuRA admin team who worked on that. So great job. And I hope we can keep this great feedback. Okay, the overall evaluation of the EuRA Global Quality Seal. We had a slightly drop from last year from 4.5 to 4.4, but still 60% said it is an excellent seal. It's an excellent certification basic standard. So that's absolutely okay and fine. I'm fine with that. And the benefits of being the EuRA Global Quality Seal, it's more or less the same. It's like 4.5 during the last 3 years, so that is fine as well. We had a peak in 19 and 21 with 4.8, but we never received that again. So I think 4.5 is absolute an excellent result. But then we ask, of course, what are the benefits of being an EuRA Global Quality Seal holders and what adds value to you? Because that might be interesting for you as well, because it might be a good argument to your clients. It makes us a reference in the industry and a trusted partner and destination service provider for clients. Proof of quality toward clients. The benefit is especially in American companies now that you held a certain quality in your company. Interesting. I think it's not specific for American companies. It's probably a global issue. It attracts clients. Great. That should happen. And it helps our company to improve processes, to grow with challenges, to able to verify to our clients and customers that we have a high quality standard when we're delivering our services. It gives quality to your company, which is immediately visible. That's good. Opportunity and motivation to review our internal processes on a regular basis. And that is interesting because that is a very often heard feedback. So, well, it's not the one external audit. It's you have to be aware, or people are aware, the whole company is aware, there will be a next audit in the next 2 years, and it's not possible to prepare just 2 weeks ahead of the next external audit. So it's more, an ongoing improving process, and that is the correct way how to work on it. It helps build our network and staying up to date to regulations. Yeah, that's as well, especially for smaller companies who probably do not have like their own legal department who can take care of this, because we are trying together with Gordon to incorporate new challenges, new requirements directly into the Global Quality Seal standard. Therefore, we are updating it every year. So good job. Ideas for improvement we already incorporated in the whole process. Offer a new process for correction and prevention strategies for services in complaints. I will come to that later. We developed a process for corrective and preventive actions and a process, and you will see it later. More visible that EuRA EGQS Plus represents GDPR cybersecurity, and sustainability. So we discussed this very well during the review meeting. We have a lot of GDPR requirements in the standard already since the GDPR was introduced to the world a couple of years before. We added some additional requirements regarding cybersecurity. So we have a stronger focus on cybersecurity and sustainability. We have already, we ask for environmental and sustainability policy. And probably, Dom, do you like to add something to that? Because I think Bryony, she's working on this measurement for sustainable
Yes.
footprint or something like that.
Yes, absolutely. So as part of the work that Bryony and Tad have been doing with the Coalition for Greener Mobility, one thing that we are launching at the conference this year is the carbon calculator. And this will be a way of, it's free for members to go into the system, put in the various data that's needed in order for the carbon calculator to actually calculate your carbon usage so that you've got a measurable year-on-year way of saying to clients, if they're asking for sustainability reporting, this will be a free way that EuRA members will be able to calculate, their carbon usage, their carbon footprint.
Yeah, very good. So do you have an idea when that will be published?
I think Brian is hoping to, because there's a few people on the call who've taken part in the beta testing of it. And that I think Brian is hoping we're meeting with the developers of that before the conference in Zagreb. So hopefully we'll be launching it in May.
Oh, perfect. Very
Yeah.
good. Good. You should include the correct use of gender neutral pronouns. We did that. We corrected the whole standard. So it's not he, she, it, whatever. It's more or less they, there, and so on. A clear timeline of what is expected from whom would be helpful. Again, we developed such a one-pager with all this information, and I will show you later. Okay, then we had some ideas for improvement. We decided not to incorporate into the EuRA Global Quality Seal standard. For example, a mandatory EcoVadis or similar seal. It's up to you, and EuRA decided, or the board decided, not to force people to go for EcoVadis because there are, many other opportunities out there next to EcoVadis. So it's up to you to use it, but it's not a minimum requirement in the standard. In regards to a measurable sustainability goal, we are struggling to define something we can measure, even though sustainability is one of our main targets. Yes, and we said no. We had some ideas on the right column of the standard, so with on the recommendation side, and as Dom just explained, with the carbon footprint calculator, there might be additional ideas. And we get one feedback said, well, risk assessments are not relevant and should be eliminated from the standard. We say no, risk assessments are important in order to, find out where are your risks of the company and what you have to do in order to reduce the risks. So what is new? And as you know, and some of you are certified based on the ISO 9001 as well as the EGQS Plus. So there is, since January last year, we have an additional requirement to the ISO 9001, so the quality management standard, and that is regarding climate change. That has nothing to do, you can't please, mix it up with sustainability. The amendment of the 9001 is just saying, as an organization, please think about whether climate change is a relevant issue for you or not. And that is nothing else than where's your location? Are you on a risk to get floods to your office? What is with with your companies, with your cars, and so on? What is going on? Is in any kind climate change an issue for your company? And that's it. That's nothing to do what is your carbon footprint. Don't mix it up. Okay, the second point is you have interested parties, your employees, your customers, your clients, your banks, whoever, and probably they have additional requirements regarding climate change. And that again, you have to think about and to evaluate. That's it. It's no big deal. I just want to inform you because we incorporated that into the standard as well in order to level up here with the ISO 9001. So let's move on. Let's go to the changes. In the first chapter of the SEAL standard, mission quality policy objectives and KPIs, we have some changes in 1.3 and chapter 1.4, so in objectives and the key performance indicators. On the objective side, the old objective sounds like define, implement, and measure at least one environmental or sustainability related measurable objective, including frequency of measurement and target value. Okay, that was the old objective. The new, it's a little bit stronger, and it's called reduce companies' direct and indirect impact on environment from year to year. Define target values and measurements. Here again, we are not saying what kind of environmental impact you have to reduce. That is up to you. You have to come up. Most of you have that already in the past, but now it's a minimum requirement. Show that you reduce your indirect impact to environment from year to year. In what kind? Up to you. Define it. It's your choice. The key performance indicators. Here's just a wording because we had sometimes a discussion about, well, the frequency of measurement, I'm doing it more often. Is that okay? Yes, of course. It is all the time a minimum frequency of measurement. Doesn't matter what KPI we are talking about. It's always, if you like to measure it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, that's completely up to you. It's not on the point that you have to fit. It's always a minimum frequency of measurement you have to fulfill. Okay, that was already in chapter 1. Chapter 2, management responsibility and leadership. Here we have changes in the chapters 2.1 risk management, 2.4, 5 health and safety, 2.7 and 2.8. Risk management. Okay, now you will find it here in the risk management chapter. The organization shall determine whether climate change is a relevant issue. Relevant interested party can have requirements related to climate change. These shall be identified and assessed. If necessary, measures must be initiated and implemented. The other way around is if you evaluated that your company, your organization is not, targeted by any kind of climate change because there is no issue, no strong rains, no floods, no whatever climate change can result, no especially heat or fire or whatever, then that's fine. But you have to think about it probably in the team or in the management team, if they're an issue or not. And the same as with look at your interested parties. Could they have special interests regarding the results or the results or for of climate change? Health and safety. Here we included the recommendation or the ask from an EuRA member regarding physical and mental health. We incorporated into the on the explanation side of the standard. So we had already the explanation around workplace safety, and here we added physical and mental health. So not only the workplace safety, but explicit the physical and mental health. Provide a safe and healthy work environment, take steps to prevent injuries, promote mental health literacy to reduce stigma, and encourage open conversations about mental health. Regular health and safety manager and worker training, system to detect threats to physical and mental health like stress, anxiety, or depression, and safety access to bathrooms, potable water, and so on and so on. So here again, it's on the explanation side, and we emphasized here the physical and mental health. So you get an idea what we are talking about here. So environmental sustainability management policy, it's again here, identify and measure companies' direct and indirect impact on the environment. You have to do it here because otherwise you can't define a proper quality goal. On the explanation sides, further metrics can be found in the DSP carbon calculator as soon as it has been published by EuRA. So Dom explained that before. So information and cyber security. We added the cyber security, and we talked to our legal guy, Gordon, and he said, well, it's from the DSP requirements right now of based on a lot of many issues around the world regarding cybersecurity. It's now a little bit a shift from information security to cyber security because DSP requirements more or less are implemented, and now we added some information or some requirements regarding cybersecurity, and that is ensure that the data protection, integrity information, and cybersecurity policy is in place, and ensure that procedures are implemented that's old and maintained to protect personal confidential data, enhance cybersecurity, and that employees are aware of these procedures and so on. Really new is define and implement effective controls covering people, technology, and governance, and plan and implement regular testing, assessing, and evaluating the effectiveness of controls, define and implement regular risk assessments of the security of personal data. So, and in cooperation with Gordon, those are really the minimum you should do and you should implement in your company. So the company, so you shall ensure that you have a multi-factor authentication in use wherever possible. Password controls and policies are in place. Appropriate controls and alerts are configured on 365 for email systems. Antivirus software is up to date and correctly configured. Backups are tested to withstand a ransomware attack, and firewalls are tested. So what does it mean? It's not enough to implement, for example, a firewall or to implement here's this the security systems or the regular testings and so on. It's important that you test the system so that you can be more or less sure that they are up to date and that they are working. Again, this is the company shall designate a data protection manager. You know that already. And he or she should train the employees on data security and cyber awareness, at least annual. That is important. And the data protection and cybersecurity impact assessment, we just moved on another place. So what are the necessary documentation? What is new? Evidence of implemented controls and their effectiveness, results of testing and risk assessments of the security of personal data. So that is important. What kind of controls you have implemented in your IT system and how effective they are. That is important. Some clients request different or additional data and cybersecurity protection features and TOMs. And you have forced to implement that if they have additional or wider requirements on that. Good. No really changes on the standard on chapter 3, 4, and 5. So organization and planning services and client customer satisfaction and complaint management. But we, based on this, idea of one GQS holders, we developed a complaint management process. This complaint management process is, it's a template. It's really detailed, but you probably received it already, but otherwise you will receive it. And it has to be adapted to your company and to your specific needs and organizational working. It's a complete process description for this special process complaint management, and you can take it, but it's not possible to take it one by one just to take it over and put your name above it. You have to really to adapt it to your special needs of and requirements of your company. So chapter 6, documentation, that is more or less a consequence of doing changes in the further chapters. So we have to adapt chapter quality management, management of documented information, and the internet. Okay, here on the explanation side in the standard, you have possible structure of the quality manual, and we just added the word cybersecurity. And then we have the documented information in chapter 6.3. We have all here a list of all the policies. And here we added that you have to have evidence of implemented controls and their effectiveness, results of testing and risk assessment of the security of personal data. You have to show those results, and those have to be documented. In the internet, if you are a lucky holder of a EuRA Global Quality Seal standard, you are now a premium member, and you should write it on your website to explain that you are a premium member. That means you have a EuRA Global Quality Seal Plus. That's an advantage. Good. So very limited changes to the EuRA Global Quality Seal, but I think the few changes we did are very important. And you receive, like a gap analysis between 2024 standard and 2025 standard. What you have to check, and if it's just a checking, or if you have adopt your quality manual, for example, you will receive that as well. What is new in the organization? Beside that, we have now that all audits are based and organized by the EuRA office. We decided that the auditor may work at an external auditor for the same EuRA member a maximum of 3 times in a row. So what does it mean? If you have an auditor and you are just ISO 9001 certified, then the audit will take place every second year. So we decided that it is a good idea that after then 6 years, so after the auditor has been 3 times your external auditor on the EuRA Global Quality Seal Plus standard, that there have to be a change on the auditor side. Why? The reason is very simple. After 3 times or 6 years of working together with the same external auditor, from our point of view, it's important that there will be a change in the auditor. And right now we have brilliant auditors. They are really handpicked from all the different auditors we had during the last years. They are assessed at least once a year doing myself. So I'm really joining an actual audit and evaluate them, and preparing them and provide them feedback and so on. And it's really a constant exchange of information and learning of the industry as well of the audit process. So it's really, we have brilliant auditors, all of them, and they are really experts. And so they have so much to give, and they have different energies and different ideas and different ways of doing audits. So it's an advantage for you as a company to have an auditor's change after a couple of years, because you get a new perspective and a new perspective from an external auditor.
Martina,
So,
can I
yeah,
make a
sure.
quick point? A very interesting point from Andrea, and I don't know whether we discussed this in the review. We did, it was policy with DQS and with BV and with SGS that you would have this turnover of the auditors after the 6-year cycle. Are we implementing that cycle now, as in because we've now taken the process in-house and we can, we know who's auditing what, or are we going back to previous audits done by DQS, BV, and SGS?
Fair point. My idea would be we start the counting of the audit cycles with the beginning of taking the process to EuRA.
That's what I thought as well. So,
Yes.
Andrea, does that answer your question? So from now, so if you're being audited in 25, you can have the same auditor in 27 and 29, and in 31, we would require you to change.
But I would really like to encourage you, and some of you, I know you have auditors for a very long time, because, if you have, for example, Jochen for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I mean, he's a great auditor nevertheless, but I would like to encourage you, if you think it is time and it could be a good opportunity for you to get another perspective of an audit and of your system, come back to Marie and ask her to change the auditor. I mean, we have a handful of auditors, so they all have enough work to do. So you don't take someone a couple of days or whatever. That's not the problem. I really like to encourage you, if your initiative said, well, I'm now working with for the last 6 years or the last 8 years. I really, I'm suspicious what are the other auditors doing, and that is yeah. So this rotation system, it's a good idea. So if it's initiative by you, it's absolutely fine, and Marie will manage the change.
Thank you very much, Martina. And Rohit, yeah, that's a very good question. When we brought this process in-house, one of the goals was to ensure that everybody who was auditing the seal was an auditor of the seal. So the auditors that have come on board as our external independent auditors are all auditors who have experience in the EuRA Global Quality Seal Plus. That was one of our primary goals.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, and they are and it's interesting, for example, one of the external auditors, he is so interested in the seal, and he did audits before that, and he's located in Spain, and he's the head of the Spanish DQS office. So and say, well, do you really? No, it's such a great process, and I'm so happy with it. And he's really into it, and he's still a GQS auditor for EuRA now. It's yeah. I think what else can we say? I mean, he's an expert in auditing, and he's still saying, well, no, I want to do it, even so not as a DQS auditor, but I want to do it as a EuRA auditor next to my opportunity and tasks as a leader and the the boss of this entity here in Spain. Interesting.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I thought that was amazing when you said that to me. I think it's one of those things that, the auditors that we have, the 6 auditors we have, are all experts, because that was one of the biggest criticisms that we heard from members, was an auditor would come into the organization. I can see somebody on the call today who I've had a conversation with about this, who did not know service industry necessarily, and certainly not relocation. And we have a
Yeah.
training program within the academy for the auditors, a kind of 101 on what our industry does and is. And we don't need it anymore. So I'm really pleased.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good. The way to the EuRA GQS Plus certificate, we have this one pager, and here is looks a little bit strange with the colors, but it is a pretty complex process. So it's a way to lead you through the whole process with your task as a EuRA member, auditor's task, and the tasks and responsibilities of the EuRA office with the different days behind it and who is doing what and when. Why should we do that, or had we, developed this? As I told you, I did some of this auditor's assessments, and of course I'm like covering and shadowing the whole process from Marie, then the information exchanging between the company and the auditor, and so on and so on. And sometimes, and some EuRA members are really nice because a day before the document analysis, they send the information to the external auditor of this, the questionnaire, self-assessment questionnaire with the evidences, or in the morning of the audit, or the auditor sends out, an idea for the audit program, so for the time schedule. And he's asking back and asking back, could you please, fill in who will be joining the audit, and so on and so. Sometimes your members not even answer to that. So they start in the morning with the audit, and you have to be aware of this. The audit time is really limited. Therefore, it is so important to have a proper preparation and a proper planning of the audit. And therefore, we added here some timelines, one, when which data have to be where. And we will send that to all EuRA members, especially then to new applicants for the EuRA Global Quality Seal. It is a process, and it's a complex process, but it's working if everyone does it smooth and, taking an eye on the dates, because the auditor is not there sitting on the table and waiting for the requirement. Therefore, he needs some, or she needs some time in advance to prepare for the audit. Good. We have documents. We have the EuRA Global Quality Seal Standard 25. And just to remember, all audits starting with July 1st this year are based on the new 25 standard. All external audits until the end of June this year will be based on the 2024 standard. Okay. Then we have the new questionnaire, including the evidences, which is adapted to the new roles. And of course, we have every year the Global Quality Seal Changes Index. So the changes will be described here between 2005 and 2004 standard. And we have the document, the way to EuRA Global Quality Seal Certificate. And Dom, I think all GQS holders should receive such documents.
Yes, they did go out at the beginning of the year. However, I'm going to send everything again. Part of the in-house process, we've just really looked at all of the communications that go out to everybody. I want to be clearer about the emails that you get, and Marie's been working hard on that. So what we're going to do this week is send you these documents again. And I'm also going to send you, and thank you for the, I think it was Andrea, you put in the question about the policies which have been in place. We haven't really made major changes to the policies that sit under the seal, but one thing I have done, just to make it clearer, is renamed them from 2022 to 2025. So although the policies that you currently have, which say 2022, have now been reversion controlled to 2025, and each year we will do the same thing. I've made a couple of small changes here and there, mainly only in the risk assessment, moving things to out of medium and into high necessarily, as Martina was talking about in terms of the impact of climate change potentially on where you are. So this week we will send you the quality seal, the self-assessment questionnaire, the other document that was on the slide. I will send you the 8 policies, including the brand new management of complaints system.
The process, yeah.
Thank you. And all of those are necessary for audits coming up between now and July, and audits post the 1st of July as well. So thank you very much indeed. Rohit, you asked a very good question. Do you have an auditor in India? At present, we do not have an auditor in India, but we have the brilliant Sama Salman, who is based in Dubai, who is going to do the audits in India because the time difference is much less than it is for Europe. However, if you know somebody, Rohit, who's audited you, we would love to know because we will definitely add them to the list. At the moment, we don't. So it would be great to know if you've worked with somebody who you think is good. We would love to have a conversation. But apart from that, like I said, the updates will go out again this week, and we're trying to make the communication much more succinct. If you are missing anything, just let us know. Let me know, let Marie know in the office. We will endeavour to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. The other thing, if you've got someone new coming into the company who you're going to make quality manager or have them take over some responsibility for the seal, do not forget about the academy that's in the module. It's free for everybody. It's accredited for 50 credits towards the MIM qualification. And Martina literally takes you through step by step how to build that quality manual. I've done that training many, many times. If I hadn't, I would be completely lost if I was starting this process. You are not starting this process. You've all been through it before. But if you want a refresher or you've got somebody new within the group who's going to do it, go straight to the academy. When we send you the documentation this week, the link to the module in the academy is in that cover letter email. Thank you so much, everybody, for your kind comments. It's really nice to know that we're on the right track. If at any point, like I say, you have a question, don't hesitate to ask me, to ask Martina, or to ask our 2 brilliant mentors, Åsa Löfgren-Gunsten and Michelle Bramstoft. Michelle, you're on the call. Thank you for being with us. Their contact details are, of course, on the EGQS Plus page on our website. And there's masses of information there. Anything you need, please let us know. And in the meantime, I'll get this out to everybody. It has been recorded. Martina, as always, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody being here. And thank you for your really nice comments. It's really, really kind. That's very, when we get those responses back, when Martina sent out that survey, it's always so great to know how many people really appreciate doing the seal. Because it's really hard work and you don't have to. So thank you very much, everybody, for being here.
Absolutely.
Great to see you all. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Martina, thank you again, as always. Cheers, everybody. Lovely to have you with us. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. See you
Bye.
soon. Okay, bye.